they've got 8 games of film on you. So, especially from an offensive standpoint, you have to kind of take into account, especially now that they've seen this group together, you know, maybe anticipate we've got to give a different look here than we would have to run a certain play. I mean, to get that intricate in terms of the thought process.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, every week you're going to have game plan tweaks. You're gonna, you know, you're always studying your tendencies, and then you try to use those tendencies to your advantage. And that's what you know, good coaches and good teams do. But at the end of the day, you are who you are. After 8 games, you know, you're not going to come in and all of a sudden be something that you're not. And at this stage of football in the season, you're either good enough to do what you do or you're not. And the teams that can impose their will upon the opponent are the ones who win. You know, and the teams that can play with discipline and you know, take care of the ball and not have stupid penalties and be relentless in special teams, you know, that's the teams that win. I mean, you're not going to, you know, we're not going to line up and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to just trick everybody and run the triple option game 9. I mean, we are who we are. We're going to run the zone. We're going to run the power. We're going to run the counter. We're going to get on the edge a little bit. We're going to play action you. It's what we do. And, you know, you got to be good enough to stop it. And we have to be good enough to execute versus whatever we see. It's the same thing as far as who we are defensively. You know, we're gonna create a new line of scrimmage. We're gonna attack. We're gonna be in and out of multiple fronts. We're gonna pressure. We're gonna play some zone coverage. We're gonna play a lot of man coverage. We're gonna give you multiple looks on the back end. You know, we move our front. That's who we are. So we're either good enough to do what we do better than what you do, or we're not. And that's really what it comes down to at this time of year. You know, you go all the way back to the first game or the second game. Might as well have been the first game at Texas A&M. We didn't know who they were, and we weren't really sure who we were. You know, it's just a little different deal because you just don't have any tape. I mean, there's lots of unknown. To me, openers are always the hardest games to prepare for. You know, there's new people, new coaches. I mean, it's a lot of times you've spent your whole preparation studying other teams, and you know, this time of year it's great to be able to sit down and watch the people that you're going to play. And you get a feel, and it doesn't, I mean, and there's a lot of good stuff, man. And but at the end of the day, you have to be better at what you do than they are at what they do at this point in time. And that's what it comes down to. And if you got 2 teams that are pretty evenly matched, and there's going to be some wins and losses on both sides. There's going to be some good plays and bad plays on both sides. So then it's going to come down to a few plays. This time of year, the margin for error gets really smaller. And it usually in championship football, it's 3 or 4 plays.
You can, I'm sure, have turned on any 5 minutes of film and seen the arm talent with Trevor. Do you remember the first time you sat down with him and like talked ball with him and kind of got the mental side back from him and what your impressions were of that?
Yeah, it wasn't until he got here in January for me as far as sitting down and just talking ball with him. You know, other than just general conversation. I mean, you could tell he was a really sharp kid, but until you get into the intricacies of a meeting and installation and all the stuff that you're trying to do within your system, that's a whole nother deal. But first time I saw him throw live is he came to camp. I guess going in his junior year. And like, wow, I was trying to rearrange the line. No. You the receivers. No, you go with this guy. You know, I was afraid somebody's going to get. We don't wear helmets. Somebody's going to get hurt. Some of those kids jumping up there to catch from Trevor. No. Let's change. You go here. But you know, it was pretty quick early when he got here. First of all, how prepared he was. You know, because he had been studying and had been really. You know, the whole January we're on the road recruiting and doing all this, and all of a sudden you get into your season study and going through stuff, and man, he's sharp. And then last spring, when just, you know, right out of the gate, I could just tell that. I mean, he was processing it, you know, and that's the way Deshaun was. Very similar, you know, just mentally way ahead of a typical freshman.
Dabo, a lot of coaches run their programs in a stern way. You always seem to want to incorporate a lot of fun and joy into the grind, and even small things like getting Garrett Williams a touchdown at FSU or putting Christian in there. What is kind of your basic philosophy and approach as far as having a lot of fun while still obviously getting business done?
Well, my guys will be quick to tell you that I'm always not so much fun all the time. I promise you. There's another side to Coach Swinney that y'all don't always see. Tim's smiling back there. I'm ultra competitive, and I do like to have a lot of fun. But I do not like nonchalantness and lackadaisicalness, if that's a word. I don't like that. I like focus and intensity and locked inness on what we're doing. That's what I like. And when I don't get that, then we can have some issues. But when we're we find ways to have some fun within that. But this is a game of intensity. But from a just holistic standpoint, I mean, that just goes back to our philosophy of our program. I mean, we want to graduate our players, number one. That's what we want to do. And we've done that at an incredible rate. And the second thing that I challenged our staff with when I got this job was, I want to make sure that we have a program that's equipping them with the tools they need to go and dominate in life and win outside the lines, that they're ready for what comes after football. And that's what we've done through career opportunities, social development, all the networking and micro internships and mission trips and you name it. That's all happens through our Paul journey. And then the third thing for me has always been I want our guys to have a great college experience. This is college, and I want them to have some fun along the way. There's nothing wrong with having some fun and enjoying your experience and not having a place where people are miserable when they show up. When I walk in the room every day for my team meeting, I don't want guys miserable to be here. I want them to know that, hey, we got a lot of work to do, but I want to enjoy each other, and I want them to really enjoy their experience to the fact that, hey, they want to come back to college, and then when they can't wait to come back and visit, they want to stay in touch. That's one of the greatest joys of my job is, just all the sons that I feel like I have out there, all the relationships, all it's every week I'm hearing from former players from years ago, guys that I coached at Alabama. And I just think that's the best part of it. But that goes back to, again, trying to make sure that your guys have a good experience. And for the most part, we've been able to do that. And then it's to win a championship. That's just the foundation of our program. And, I think have done a pretty good job of that.
What does it say about Christian that I know he kind of has some fun with playing quarterback and that kind of stuff, but is it selflessness to go out and play all these special teams and stuff as a senior, one of the top prospects in the draft?
Yeah, and he's always done that since he got here. He's been on punt team. He's been starting on punt team since he was a freshman. He's played field goal block. He loves it. I mean, he's just a guy that truly enjoys every day. He likes practice. He likes meetings. He likes the training in the summer. He just has that mindset that it takes to be great. And he's rubbed off on so many people over his time here. But he loves it. He'll do anything you ask him to do. And he believes he can do anything. He really thinks that way. So pretty cool to see him last week be able to get that touchdown and just have so much fun doing it. It was awesome.
Coach, what are the odds you let him throw a pass?
We played the yesterday. We do a video every Monday, and we played what's the Titanic song? It's like a yes, that song. Y'all know that song, and we played that song with he's back there at tailback, and it was just like going, and he dives into the end zone, and it's slow motion, and then he's celebrating with like every player on the team all down the sideline, and it was pretty cool to enjoy that moment with him.
What are the odds you let him throw a pass at some point before the season?
Hey man, you never know. You never know.
How about Justin Ross? Did he tweak his hamstring during the game? Or was
Practice. Yeah. He was kind of gimpy all week, and but he was able to go, and but he looked a lot. He looked good last night. He really got off to a good start last night. So hopefully he's kind of working his way. I mean, it wasn't so bad that he couldn't play, but it was a problem for him, and he'd been kind of battling it all week. But he continues to make big plays.
Nelly fully cleared?
Yeah, he's back.
Coach,
He'll be in green today, but he's back into practice.
your decision to move Cervenka over to the offensive side of the ball really paid off on Saturday. He pointed out to us yesterday that you scored the same number of points, matches jersey number. Ordinarily losing your starting center going into a place like Doak Campbell against that defense would be a concern. But for him to be co-offensive player of the game along with Amari, when you can point to examples like that and Chase Bryce stepping up when a guy gets injured, how much does that help keep all your backups fully engaged?
Yeah, this sets a great example, and that's and it just kind of further emphasizes why we're committed to playing guys that deserve to play. Even if it's 15% of the time. I mean, it's just critical because you never know, and I think that's something that if you commit to that early in the season, you get to game 8, game 9, even if a guy's only played 10% of the snaps, he's in a different place than he is if he's just stood over there all season, and now he's got to go out there and play, and all he's done is practice. So, we trust our guys, and Gage is one of those guys. He's a fourth-year junior, and took him a little while to kind of make that transition, but he has done great. I mean, he was a wrestler, and he's a great leverage guy. He can get his body in some funky positions and still move people. And he's so strong. I mean, he's the strongest guy on our team. Unbelievable how strong this kid is. I mean, he's a 225. He's a 40-something rep guy on 225. I mean, he's a 700, 600, 700-pound squatter. I mean, he is unbelievably powerful. But now he's confident. He's confident with his snaps. He really understands the game. But it was a big deal. Even though he played a lot, to have to run out there first and to know that, hey, you don't have Fauci there. Like, you got to be the guy. I thought he did great. I mean, it was so much fun. And again, sends a great message to all of his teammates and all the guys sitting in this room. You never know when you're going to have to go be the guy and play 60 snaps. Maybe you've been playing 15 or 20. We need you to play 60. So make sure you're ready. And that was something we were able to challenge our defense with this week, because we gave up 10 points, with our backups. And they didn't take the first team out. That's not how it works. Oh, there's nobody waves a flag, or putting the twos in. Okay, y'all put the twos in. It doesn't work that way. You got to go in, and you're in the same meetings, you're on the same practice field, you have the same expectations. So there's still a lot of room for improvement for us.
Yesterday, Xavier Thomas told us that Cleveland Farrell had some advice for him on dealing with the hype as you guys approach the college football rankings and everything that's going on. That don't go for the cheese because you might get caught in the mousetrap. How does that philosophy apply as the first batch of rankings? Yeah,
don't take the cheese. That's something that I've always said around here. Just don't take the cheese. Marion Hobby, he used to get mad. Marion was those of you dealt with Marion, y'all know he was a no nonsense guy and a great football coach. But man, you tried to talk to one of his players during practice. I mean, he just look at you. You come over and you say, hey, good job, and he'd just look at you and say, don't pet the animals. He just don't feed the animals. Don't take the, and then he'd look at his players and he'd say, don't you take the, I think that's a mindset that Marion, I think, started creating in those guys, Cleveland and them. And so he always did such a good job of kind of creating that edge in them, to not listen to anything, nothing, just, go prove it. Go play well. You better be prepared. And I think that's carried over, and it's just kind of filtered down into our team. But we say that all the time, man. Don't take the cheese, because exactly, And then listen, the people that are talking about how great you are, and I mean, you're the only team that could do this or do that or whatever, and then you go lay an egg. Well, then the next week they're going to be talking about everything that's wrong with your program and blah, 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 and blah. So those same people that were just last week talking about and explaining why you're so great, the very next week they're talking about what's wrong with your program. And so you just, in this role, you have to, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what people do, you know. I mean, that's what makes it so much fun. People want to explain stuff and they have opinions and all that, but on this side of it, you can't get caught up in that. I mean, you can't take any of that stuff. You just got to just stay locked in to your preparation. You know, the one thing, all these guys in this room, they know reality. They know reality, and they know what's not reality. So just stay focused on what we control, what matters, and the rest will take care of itself.
What do you think? Do you have any interest then?
Last one in the back.
So, Coach, do you have any interest then in the playoff rankings coming out tonight, knowing that the team that's been slated number 3 in every initial poll has failed to make the playoffs?
I didn't know that, but no, I don't really have. I mean, we're going to be in it. I mean, I know that. I don't need to see a show tonight to know that we're one of the teams that has a real shot. We've earned that. I mean, I think that's good. It's good that they used to do it a lot earlier. That is such a waste of time. Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's better that they wait now until I guess basically November before they start doing all that stuff. So you got a little bit. I mean, so you know, I said before the year, I think we're one of the 12 or 15 teams that maybe have a shot, and that's where we want to be every year. We just want to be a team that has a chance. And some years you're going to have things go your way, and some years you're not. And you try to be the best version of that team each year. But we're in a position, and I'm sure we'll be in there somewhere. I can't imagine that we won't, but it really doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, that's great, but it just doesn't matter. I mean, we got to beat Louisville. Just it. So that's the only thing that we're locked in on.
Alabama over the course of a season, knowing that you ended your year against them the last 3 years, do you kind of keep an eye on where Bama is or how they've looked on the field?
Oh, I keep an eye on everybody because I vote in the poll every week. I really vote. I really do. Sometimes I call in at 3 in the morning. I'm sure that guy who takes that poll is like, oh, man, there's Coach Swinney again. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. But I actually call in and I actually vote. So I try to keep up with everybody and do a good job with that. Yeah, if I'm going to put my name on it, I should try to be informed. But, you know, I keep up with everybody. Alabama's pretty easy to keep up with. I got a lot of friends, a lot of family from down there, and they're on the TV every week and about every night. So kind of hard to miss them. Thanks, Coach. Now, Fresno State